Hi, my name is Karl Monger. I'm the Executive Director of GallantFew, and I want to thank you for being part of the National Veteran Memorial Museum event and their monthly rally point. I want to talk to you briefly about staying on azimuth. I'm an Army veteran. You probably figured that out by looking at the background behind me, and I spent a lot of time going through jungles, mountainous areas and forests at night. And I think every infantryman has experienced doing that. In the old days, before GPS, we had to rely on the good old lensatic compass. And the lensatic compass, if you've never used one before, you should find one and go experiment with it. But especially at night, you have to trust the little glow-in-the-dark dots. You dial in your azimuth, which you have plotted because you know the location that you have to be at, and you follow this azimuth until you get to your location. As you go through the forest at night, what happens? First, you run through a spider web, or there's a great big tree in your way, or there's a rattlesnake, and you have to go around this obstacle so that you can continue your journey, but by going around the obstacle, you've taken yourself off of your azimuth. So you got to try and figure out how to get back on that azimuth. Now, if you're only going maybe 100 meters, being off azimuth 1 or 2 degrees is really not a big deal. But if you're off azimuth for 10,000 meters or 50,000 meters, then you're going to be in a completely different grid square, and the objective that you're trying to reach will be nowhere in sight. That pertains exactly to military transition. Because as you go through your transition assistance training, at wherever you choose to leave the military, you're given an azimuth. Your azimuth in the form of how to dress, how to pass an interview, how to do LinkedIn, all the benefits that the VA offers you. All of these things are the starting azimuth that you're given. And then you head out from, say, Fort Benning, Georgia, and you go home to Cincinnati, Ohio. And when you get to Ohio, you find out that the things that you were given in terms of transition tools back in Georgia might not be most effective in Ohio. And so you start trying to learn your own way. And as you go immediately on that azimuth now, because it's different, you're off azimuth a couple of degrees. Maybe you have more difficulty getting a job than you thought it would. Again, off azimuth a couple of degrees. Maybe you're not sure what you want to study in school, but you use the GI Bill so that you can pay your rent for a period of time without really further materially advancing your education. Again, you're off azimuth. Maybe you're trying to process some of the experiences that you had in the military and you consume alcohol, maybe excessively to do that. Again, off azimuth. All those things are the spider webs and the trees and the ditches and the obstacles that happen in nightland navigation, only now they're translated into your transition back to civilian life. So how do you get on azimuth? Well, first I would say you have to know where you are. So you need to do a line in the sand or a benchmark and establish where you are right now today. GallantFew looks at it in 5 functional fitness areas. We say functional fitness because if I say physical fitness to you, you think of how many push-ups you can do, how fast you can run, how far you can carry a rucksack, maybe how many chin-ups you can do. But if I say emotional wellness to you, that's a more nebulous term. It's harder to define wellness as opposed to fitness. So we don't talk in terms of wellness. We talk in terms of fitness. But let's take that concept to emotional health. Emotional fitness. Emotional fitness to me implies you can measure it. And if you can measure it, you can improve it. Or you can chart if it starts to decline later on. The way that GallantFew does that is by a self-assessment. 5 statements in 5 functional areas. And those areas are professional, emotional, physical, social, and spiritual. As you assess yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, you'll see statements like, Facebook stresses me out. Social fitness. 1's not at all, 10's a whole bunch. I feel high levels of guilt. Emotional fitness. Again, 1's not at all, 10's a whole bunch. I need alcohol to have fun. 1's not at all, 10's a whole bunch. Once you have assessed yourself in these areas, and it's not good or bad the way that you rate yourself, it just is a result. Then we look at an area that you may want to improve, and we identify how do we intentionally create a path for improvement in that area. Now we're setting the objective that we want to go to. And as you start moving that direction, whether it's changing a habit that you want to change, whether it's repairing a relationship, or whether it's pursuing a career, the possibilities are endless. As you go down that path, then periodically you pop back in and you take that azimuth check, because you're checking your azimuth. Are you still on azimuth? Has your anger or guilt or other levels increased? Has your ability to feel thanks decreased? And if that happens, now we can start looking at how to address that. In all things, we want to ask, is this going to work for me? When you have a choice in front of you, and a lot of times veterans feel like they don't have a choice because they have post-traumatic stress, because they had a toxic leader, because you name it, there is a reason for you to start to fail in your transition. We want to get rid of all that. We want to say, what do I need to do to make it better? That choice that's in front of you. Every time you enter a restaurant or a bar, you have the choice to order an alcoholic beverage or a non-alcoholic beverage. You may feel that you have to consume alcohol because of things that have happened in the past, but if you can step back and you can say, is this going to work for me? Maybe in a celebratory, safe, and responsible manner, it will. Or maybe you realize that if you have that one drink, then that one is going to turn into 10, and the end of the night is probably going to go badly. So is it going to work for you? Creates the space that you need to be able to make the decision that keep you on azimuth and move you more intentionally towards your objectives. I invite you to take the GallantFew Azimuth Check, azimuthcheck.org. Do a self-assessment. If you are not a veteran, you are welcome to take the Azimuth Check. We will send you an immediate response that has resources that you can use to improve your fitness in those 5 areas of emotional, professional, physical, spiritual, and social. If you're a veteran or active duty, we will take the time to unpack that Azimuth Check assessment with you and help you develop what we call your plan to be more gallant. A plan to be more gallant. If you think about what is gallantry, gallantry is doing the right thing. When you're in the military, you're expected to do the right thing, and you have eyes on you in the form of supervisors or other service members that are around you. When you get into your community, it seems like there is no longer a requirement to do the right thing, because there are a lot of people that don't do the right thing. I hold you to a higher standard. You've proven your dedication, you've proven your responsibility, you've proven your discipline. I want you to hold yourself to that higher standard. If you ever get off path, look at yourself in the mirror and imagine that your squad leader, your team leader, is looking at you, seeing that face in the mirror. What is that squad leader going to tell you that you should do right now in your life as you move forward? If the squad leader is going to tell you what to do, then maybe adopt that advice and start putting it in place. Again, thank you for being part of this event. Thank you to the National Veterans Memorial and Museum for putting this together. And be brave, be bold.